Hello and welcome to Tech for Non-Techies, the only podcast that demystifies the fast-growing technology sector. I'm your host, Sophia Matveeva, Chicago-based MBA and tech entrepreneur. My aim here is to give you the skills, knowledge and confidence to find opportunities in the tech sector, whether that's through founding a company, getting a dream job, or bringing a fresh perspective to your work.
Hello, smart people. How are you doing today? I'm so excited. I got vaccinated on Sunday and today I am going to a party. If you're listening to this on the Wednesday that this comes out, I'm going to be in a mansion outside London at my first party in over a year. It is taking place on a Wednesday, which is a weekday during the day, which I think just makes it even more decadent than it already is. So by the time you listen to this, I plan to be several glasses of champagne in, flirting mercilessly with a bunch of strangers. But you know what? I am a bit worried about socializing. I have forgotten how to do it, and I feel a bit like a weird hermit. I think many of us feel that. So I'm just wondering, am I going to make a total tit out of myself? Yes, I probably will. But do I really care? Not so much. I mean, I'm leaving work behind to go day drinking with a bunch of strangers in an English country mansion. So I'm just going to embrace whatever comes with that. And this preamble is actually relevant to what you're going to be hearing about today. You are going to hear from Julie Novack, who is the CEO and the non-technical co-founder of PartySlate, a platform that connects event professionals to people planning events like weddings, corporate parties, and galas. You'll hear all about PartySlate in this episode. Julie spoke to our members earlier this year and gave them feedback on what they were working on. Today, you'll hear excerpts from that conversation. This is a great session to learn about how content links to commercialization. I also want you to pay attention to how Julie talks about linking user needs to features in their product and then charging for those features. So the train of thought here is literally, what is the problem that people experience? Then, can we build a solution? And then, can we make money from this solution? There are so many useful value bombs in there, so let's get started. What is PartySlate for those who have not seen your sumptuous Instagram account?
Thank you. And Instagram is just a traffic driver to our platform, which is called PartySlate. And PartySlate is a place where people can come to get inspired and to find new ideas for any kind of larger scale event. And so if you think about you're planning a big corporate event for your investors or sales incentive trip or a holiday party, or you're planning a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a fundraiser, you can come and find new ideas from decor to lighting to food and beverage to entertainment, and find all of the local event professionals that created that experience. So Instagram is really important to us, which is why we put so much energy into Instagram, because people discover our Instagram account, which is at PartySlate. They find new ideas and they're like, oh, what is this platform? What is this thing? And what we do is we drive people from Instagram to PartySlate for that discovery piece. And on the other side of the market are event professionals who don't have a lot of digital savvy, who don't know how to do search engine optimization, don't necessarily want to do those things. We created kind of digital marketing in a box where they can create a profile page for all of their professional photos and videos and content. And they can almost build this content marketing engine in a matter of minutes. And so what we do is how we make money is anyone can create a free profile, but to unlock a lot of the features like meet the team or multiple cover photos or unlimited video, you pay anywhere from $95 to $595 a month for an annual subscription. And so you can kind of think of us like a Yelp or a Houzz, but for the events industry. So we are not event planners. We do not plan events. We plan our own events, but we don't plan events for clients. We're a platform where people can get inspired and then find that perfect venue that they're looking for, that perfect caterer, that perfect band for their next big event.
I cannot wait till I can go to some events. I've been missing them. I want to dress up and
Me too. Yeah. Our launch parties used to be kind of like a core part of the industry where we would go to Miami and have a huge launch party at a really cool modern hotel, and all the event professionals would come. We'd go to New York, we'd go to New Orleans. So we're really focused on the US and North America right now, but we do have people from all over the world creating profile pages, which is very exciting.
Interesting. And so tell me about your background. How did you how did you start?
So I started in the digital agency world. So I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world on their website, social media, search engine optimization for over 20 years. So I ran a digital agency called Razorfish. So I had about 300 employees in the central region of the US. And I always loved events from the very beginning. I would say since my seventh grade, my first party. So I've always loved the power of events. And when I got into the corporate world, I used events for recruiting. I used events for sales, trips for high performers. I've used it for client entertaining. And so I always knew the power of the event. And I love Zoom. Don't get me wrong. It's great, but nothing compares to in-person experiences. And so I kept looking for new ideas online. I was looking to get inspired, and all I could find were kind of static, kind of dated wedding blogs, to be honest. And then I used a website called Houzz. Do you know Houzz? H-O-U-Z-Z.
So that's why when you were speaking, I thought, oh, you are housed for the, I
am housed for the events industry. So I redesigned a kitchen. And after 20 years of thinking about this problem that I wanted to solve, and I kept thinking and thinking, and this was not like an overnight success. This was like, I need to do this. I need to do this. I saw Houzz. Literally, I felt like I was struck by lightning. Like, this is what I need for the events industry. So I used Houzz for a year. And again, with 20 years of digital experience, I really dissected how it works, what they had to do, how they got the photos from the professionals, how they monetize. I even was a fake advertiser for my friend who's an interior designer to understand how they sell. And we aren't the same, like it's different than Houzz, but the inspiration came from Houzz. The biggest difference for us is you're not going to buy that couch at the party, but you're going to maybe hire the decor company. And so really the first version of Houzz, which didn't have e-commerce, is really the most similar to what PartySlate is.
Mm-hmm. So just to summarize, and tell me if I'm wrong, Houzz is a platform where you can get interior design professionals to come to your home and make it look nice, and I'm assuming that they're probably making a killing these days, but you can also go to retailers and buy actual things. So
so that they added that at like year 5 in their business. So that was kind of their second monetization strategy. We're really going more of the SaaS approach. So we want to add more sales and marketing tools for our event professionals versus, you can buy that flower base. It's a very different strategy. And even Houzz, we think, is going more in the SaaS direction as well. Commerce is very, very difficult. It's expensive. There's low margins. And there's, do you want to compete against Amazon and all these giants, right? So what we want to do is continue to add more features and functions, both for consumers that are planning the events, but also for event professionals to really make this a great working sales and marketing tool. A lot of times we see them creating these PDFs, like, oh, I'll get these photos, and you send a PDF. Why not create an idea slate on PartySlate where you can save the photos you want and then share it with your client? So we're trying to make time-saving efficiency tools that help them better market themselves and build their brand. We're really a great tool at the top of the funnel. So let's say you may not even be engaged yet, but you're living with your significant other, you're starting to think about your wedding, you've talked about it. You can start looking for wedding aisle ideas and all the inspiration ideas. And so you'll become familiar with PartySlate because we have close to 1 million photos that are highly curated. Yes, there's Pinterest. Yes, there's Instagram. That drives a ton of traffic to PartySlate. But if you really want a curated inspiration, PartySlate's a great source. So it's not just a directory, it's an inspiration source. But once we hook you with inspiration and you're leaning in to find your venue, we hope you think of PartySlate to get your venue and to get your caterer, et cetera. So we're really excited that we can get you top of funnel, which means you haven't made all your selections yet. And then you're familiar with PartySlate, you're registered, we're sending you newsletters, we're engaging with you on Instagram. And then when you have that moment of, okay, I just got engaged, or I just got the date for a corporate holiday party, you're going to think of PartySlate. Yes, more of a directory, but you're already familiar with us through inspiration. And then once you get to the profile page, another big difference is you can see how that room was transformed for all different types of events. So during the pandemic, not everyone wanted to go visit venues. So they could come to PartySlate and see literally like 500, 600 photos of the room transformed in a different way. And so therefore, it's helping you really shorten your list. Maybe you still want to go visit at the end, but instead of visiting 10, maybe you're only visiting 3 because PartySlate helped you limit or shorten your list.
How useful. So that brings me to my question about the pandemic. Obviously, the events industry was one of the ones that has really suffered. So what pivots have you made?
So the biggest thing we did when the pandemic hit, I was in Las Vegas at the biggest event professional conference in the world. This is called the Special Event and Cater Source. And I looked around me and saw all these leaders in the industry like, hey, I just lost $5 million. So, like literally the world was shutting down. I remember flying home and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be, I thought it was going to be 6 months, but who knew it was going to be this long. Our industry is going to be in pain. We need to help this industry. And so what we did literally the first week of the pandemic is, people were sent home. Events were kind of shut down. It was just like a out of body experience. I had never experienced anything like this before. And we went on and started our first webinar every single week of the pandemic. We did LinkedIn marketing for event professionals, how to create in 1 hour a beautiful LinkedIn profile. Now, every webinar also ended with PartySlate and how you can create a free PartySlate profile. The next one was how to organize your photos in Dropbox and how to create a content matrix so that you can find your photos. The next one was on Instagram. So every single week we did a digital event or a webinar that was free to the industry and people had time. So we had anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people every single week coming onto our webinars. And what it did is it made PartySlate very relevant. And I really do know people sent me their analytics saying the stuff you did really helped me. And so how this thought leadership helped us is it built our brand, it raised awareness, and every single webinar we ended with, can we help you create a free PartySlate profile?
And when you were doing this, I think I know the answer, but I'd really love you to drill into this. What was the thinking behind this? Because obviously, yes, you do want to offer something useful to people in trouble. And I think, during the pandemic, we all became much nicer than maybe we were before.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that altruistic side. But can you explain the thinking behind building the community and the content and all that?
So that's one thing we did. And I wrote a blog entry, and I'll be happy to share that with your listeners of the 5 things we did during the pandemic. The second thing we did, and I'll tell you more about our thinking, is we really leaned in. How can we add more value to our premium members? So as you can imagine, we had people cancel. We had about, some cancellations at the beginning because no one had money coming in. What we did is we put them on pause and we said, we're going to keep, working on your behalf and staying in touch, and let's touch base in 3 to 4 months and see how things are going. In that time period, we also built more premium member features. So if you were a premium member, you now had multiple cover photos. You had a meet the team section. You had testimonials. You had FAQs, all SEO optimized features of your profile page that made it even more valuable to stay on as a premium member. And so by doing that, when we went back to those clients that were on pause, we said, hey, number one, we have this new low-cost package that's self-serve, so you don't get the service around it, but for $95 a month, you get all these built-out features. So many clients we saved through that low-cost package. And then the other ones, we gave them kind of a grace period, and then they saw so much value in getting their digital footprint built out, a combination of the content we were providing in education, the profile page being so much more valuable and rich for paying members versus free, that the combination of the two helped us end the year flat, which I think is a near miracle to end the year flat. Yes, to end the year flat. But after doing that, I think largely can be those clients that heard our digital events week after week were like, I'm getting value. I'm getting value. I'm learning more digital marketing education. That really helped us. And then the other side was, wow, I have these 5 new features on my profile page that's going to help me with SEO, that's going to help with conversion. It's actually better than my own website. That's what they're saying to us, is like, this is better than my own website. That combination helped us end the year flat. Now we are seeing kind of our best quarter ever. Q1 was our best quarter ever. I'm not saying that the business is on fire. We're still in recovery, but we see that all the hard work we did during the pandemic, giving on thought leadership and building more value to the profile page and increasing our SEO efforts so that we have double the traffic that we did before the pandemic. All those things combined say that, hey, we are onto something big. I need to be part of this platform.
I am so excited. I'm so excited for you, but I'm also so excited for all of us. Actually go and have fun, because this to me just says that the tide is turning and people are
turning.
Ready. They're just ready.
Yeah, they're ready. And I think, in the US, depending state by state, Florida, Texas, those places have been open for a while. Where I live in Chicago, LA, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, we've been largely shut down. Now we can have events up to 50, but like Florida and Texas, outdoor events, I think with 200, 250, they were happening. And so there were pieces of the industry that were doing okay. But as a whole, I would guess that the industry was impacted. I have to believe revenue last year was down by, 90%, if not more, because of the shutdown. So we want to be part of the recovery story. Now people have stronger digital brands. We believe the event professionals, you have to have the talent, you have to have a great team, but we believe if you're not a good digital marketer, you are going to be left behind. And I think that's just a fact that it's just too easy to make a beautiful Instagram. And, at the end of the day, referrals are what rule in this industry, but you have to be a good digital marketer. Print advertising is going like this. Mm-hmm. And so those wedding magazines and, kind of trade magazines, there'll be a couple that survive, and that's great, but it's gone down by 95%. I think we know how we spend time. It's digital, it's devices. That's how we do our research. That's how we're on even Netflix on our devices. We're not even watching TV, real TV anymore. So we believe the future is digital, and PartySlate wants to be a part of that solution for the industry.
Wasn't that just so useful? I learned so much from Julie. And it is undeniable that the world has changed, and digital literacy is basically now up there with just normal reading and counting skills. I honestly believe that you can't have a great career in today's innovation economy unless you know how to speak the language of tech. It doesn't matter whether you want to be an entrepreneur like Julie, or you want to lead innovation, or you just want to be an active participant in what's going on today. Digital literacy doesn't mean you have to build an app with your bare hands. It means you need to know the concept behind these things, and you need to know the thinking behind how tech products get built. And this is why next week, on Wednesday, the 14th of July, I'm hosting a free session called How to Speak Tech, Masterclass for Leaders. This session is ideal for leaders and companies going through digital transformation, and professional services experts who work with tech clients. So for example, if you work in PR or you're a lawyer and you've got tech clients. And also this session is going to be great for smart, non-technical professionals who want to succeed in today's innovation economy. If you're tired of hearing tech buzzwords and wondering how many of them apply to your actual life and your actual job, then join this session on Wednesday, the 14th of July. As Julie says, we know how we spend time. It's digital. So come along to the session on How to Speak Tech, Masterclass for Leaders, and get your learn on. The link is in the show notes, or you can just go to techfornontechies.co/speak tech-class. That's techfornontechies.co/speak tech-class. And if you learned something new in this episode, then tell me. You can do so by leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, and this gives me much joy and also helps smart people like you discover this great free learning content. And if this episode floats your boat and you want more, because who doesn't, then come and join us as a member at Tech for Non-Techies. As a member, you can join our sessions and meet people like Julie and ask them your questions and get their feedback on whatever you're working on. Our membership is literally your best friend in tech. Every week we have live sessions and masterclasses. You'll also get coaching sessions with me and learning notes on key aspects of technology like AI, product management, and the app economy, all aimed at smart, non-technical professionals, so there will be no jargon. So I ask you, what is not to like, my smart people? Nothing. So check us out on techfunontechies.co/membership. So Smarty Pants, that's it for now. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you next week. Ciao.